So the real divine feminines, they were born into like low vibration situations. So if you're a person who, had a good or a semi good upbringing, two parent households, parents who treated you excellent, the best of pretty much everything, no, you're not a divine feminine. The real divine feminines, they were born into low vibration situations. For instance, me, I was adopted, and I was in foster care first, and then I was adopted, and so I was born into low vibration situations. But what the devil used for evil, God uses for good. So God actually meant to use that as a protection mechanism. So the low vibration energies that wanted to uh, do or cut out the ascended masters, the ascended ones, the higher ones. That was a protection mechanism so they wouldn't be able to find us easily. So who's going to find a high vibrating person in a mix of low energies, in a mix of craziness? Who's going to think that God will let a higher vibration person be in a mix of energies that's doing, all type of crazy things? You won't be able to find us that easily. So I know this one person said, who's gonna find you in a mix of demons or whatever? And so I just say low vibration energies because, I don't want to say necessarily demons or but it is a lower energy. You wouldn't think that we would be in energies that the divine feminine was in. So, for example, like my adoptive parents are super cheap, so that actually held back a lot of my gifts, because if I would have been in mix of people who was doing this and doing so much for me, all my gifts would have been out, and then I would have been, people would be like, oh, she's different, she has too many gifts. Most people, they only have like one or two, if they're lucky 3 or 4. But divine feminines, we have pretty much any gifts that we want. If we like something, we can do it. All we have to do is put our mind to it. It's not that hard for us. But if I would have been in a mix of people who was, doing everything for me, I would be more, people would see that I was more advanced. And they were in those lower energies that was out trying to, get the higher beings, they would have been easily spot you. So God put you in a mix of lower energies, so to protect you, as a protection mechanism. So now you will see you are developing your gifts that were dormant. That's what you're going through right now, divine feminine, true divine feminines. And the people who were lower and didn't treat you good, they are getting the karma of what they did. And whether it's through actions, energy, whatever, they're getting, people have been getting their karma for not doing right by you. And people just have, that's just anybody, people just have to learn that you can't treat people just any type of way. And that's one thing about you, divine feminine, is you are really you was always a higher being before you even moved to the higher realms. You was always a good person. And so that's why God, took you, upgraded you, and then brought you back. So that is, just a little bit of short synopsis of everything, what's going on with you, a true divine feminine. So, if you pretty much know who you are. And right now it's time for you to step out, start, doing what you came here for. And I'll make, more videos about us, because we're actually all linked, because we're actually all one. And if you, watch some of my other videos, you'll know that before God wanted me to come down here, and before I came down here, I told God to create many different versions of me, and most of those versions are older than me. A lot of them are actually older than me. There are some that's closer to my age. There's some that's, on a length of my age. I didn't look back, so I don't know if there's any, younger than me. But I told God to create many different type of versions of me, because I wasn't going to come down here all by myself, all willy-nilly. So that's the divine feminine. That is the true divine feminine. You're a higher being when you went up, when your soul went up. Your soul, since you were such a good person, your soul merged with God, because only a pure soul can have all that power that you have in the higher realms. Only a pure-hearted person can handle all that power. And your divine masculine helps you handle the power by being, a good person, helping you and stuff like that. And so, but, if the divine masculine is not on that level right now, then God is making him, be on that level. And also there's going to be things, in the future that's going to happen that's going to transform, certain people into who they're supposed to be. So right now, just, work on yourself, divine feminine. Do what you need to be doing. Know who you are. You already should be your, whole self, pretty much. And you just grow and become higher, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening in this world now and is getting out of balance, and it's up to you to get everything in balance, because this is the last